Yo, I'm Toycat, and this week we got some fascinating details from Notch's new project. This would of course be the first game that he releases after selling Minecraft, and it has some interesting similarities with this. This has a lot of people saying, well, obviously this is going to be the Minecraft killing game. I mean, if there's anyone who could make a game better than Minecraft, you figure it would be the person who made Minecraft to begin with. But interestingly, as far as games coming for Minecraft's crown, there are actually 3 separate examples of voxel-based games, all of which intend to be very successful, and all of which are in development right now. And if you want to hear about each of these, because they all come from someone with a relevant part of Minecraft's past, and they've all just shared a huge update within the last couple of weeks. And so let's start with the first of the 3. This is Hytale. It's made by Hypixel Studios, the very same people behind the biggest Minecraft server in existence, and the idea behind the game came because of the EULA changes that Mojang made in 2014, the very same ones that led to Notch selling the company. These EULA changes led to a drop of 85% in Hypixel server revenue, which was absolutely huge for the biggest server, as you can imagine. This led to them realizing that if they wanted to be in control of the games they were making, they'd need to actually make the software themselves as opposed to just being a Minecraft server. And so in 2015 they started doing precisely that. In 2018 they dropped this trailer, which went absolutely wild. The plan was to release it just a few years later, but despite getting huge funding from Riot Games and even later being fully purchased from Riot Games, they still have not managed to have anything that is playable, and they basically reset development last year. This led to the current update, which is from summer 2024 by the way, where they basically say that they have a new engine that is very exciting. They are structuring the development of the game so it follows what you would probably expect. It moves from playable to testable to alphas to betas. They've shown off some of the features that are going through that process right now, and then they finish by saying what comes next. We'll continue to share updates as we move through future milestones, but they say after a long period of refactoring, the wheels are starting to turn in earnest, and Hytale is beginning to come to life around us once again. We'll be back with more to share at the end of the year. In the meantime, we've got blocks to fill, and that is a reference to the way that development works in this game. So this is the game with the biggest backing, not just in terms of the community support around it, but also in terms of the funding for the studio, and also the amount of years that they've had to really work out what they want to make. However, that also says that, yeah, they've been trying to make this for almost 10 years now, and they don't even have a release date, which is always a concerning sign. And so, therefore, you might believe, okay, let's go to a studio that has a track record of getting things done. 4J Studios are the former developers behind Minecraft on the console editions. This was an edition of the game which was never expected to do that well, which is one of the reasons why Mojang never took it in-house, but it did do amazingly well, and it led to 4J Studios not just making a version of it, but updating the game all the way until the Bedrock merger in 2018 or so, depending on your version of the game. This is something which has obviously been the end of game development for 4J, you might think from the outside in. However, they recently confirmed that they have been working on a brand new game, and they decided to use all of the knowledge that they have of making very optimized console games with block-based worlds, and they've decided to take this to the next gen with the Elements engine. All they've announced so far is the engine for this game, but as you can see, the engine is very much a block-based one, and with the newest trailer, you can see that it's intended for very creative things. It's not just intended for block by block in the same way that Minecraft is, but you can make entire mountains, or you can make you can copy and paste houses. The wide range of environments that are possible here are nuts. Interestingly, they also have Stampy, who is a fairly large former Minecraft YouTuber, actually working on the game as a developer, which is a very, very interesting mix. So we've got an established studio, which is great. We've got a fairly large source of both development and promotion in the YouTuber, and then all we have up against that is the fact that we don't know what's actually coming from this. We don't know how much overlap there is between this and the Minecraft space. All we know is that it will be a voxel-based game. Is that enough for anyone to say that it's actually going to have any competition with Minecraft? They even downplay this themselves in interviews, and so this is something which means that there is going to be something. The scale of that something is yet to be known, and even the release date for that something is very vague to say the least. Again, making a game this big is very hard, and so that's why both Hytale and 4J are playing it coy, and interestingly, this is exactly what Notch is doing with his newest game, which is called Levers and Chest. He said to let him cook on it, and it's a roguelite dungeon crawler with a planned release date of no clue yet. So it looks like if you have some hope of some game coming out right now and providing competition to Minecraft, it's probably not going to happen anytime too soon, but this is Levers and Chest, and you can immediately see the similarities of Minecraft, I think, in terms of the text that they use, and in terms of the fact that it's very blocky. This seems to be Notch's favorite aesthetic, but also in terms of some of the things that he shares, such as the ideas behind certain enchantments, such as these sorts of things. However, you can see that Levers and Chests is really kind of playing on Dungeons and Dragons a bit more in terms of what he wants to do with the actual experience, and also as as you can see, it's going to have a weird party-based system, and so most likely is going for a very different indie game market. Will this be a Minecraft killer? No, because one, I doubt it's going to be on anywhere near as many platforms, and two, it's because of the fact that I think Notch is very much enjoying making this game, but he's making it as a hobby. Let's be honest, you make $2 billion, you can kind of be like, yeah, actually, I want to deal with ear surgery for a bit, so we're going to lose momentum on the game. This is something that is just going to happen as an inevitability of being able to do what you want to. You work on the game when you want, and you produce the game that you want, which is basically the exact opposite of the problem that I imagine Hytale has. They had something that they knew everyone wanted from them, but they just weren't able to deliver it. So I guess now is the question is, do you want there to be a Minecraft killer? And the answer is, for me, no, probably. I like Minecraft or not. I've already committed to playing it for a very long time. It'd suck to lose my world if something else came out there. However, I think that another game providing competition to Minecraft would be great. Right now, Minecraft is developed in a bubble where they basically get to set their own standards, and what can it be compared to? The answer is nothing. They are the only Minecraft out there. If there was another game in the same genre that was actually doing things better or more, then it would force them to improve. This is something which happens in all sorts of industries. In a way, Minecraft has a monopoly, and I don't think they're doing a terrible job with it. I just think that in general, it's better when there isn't such a thing. And I think it's better for everyone, if you like Minecraft-style games, for something else to be out there, even if you have no intention of playing it. Speaking of no intention of playing, I want to quickly just read out this comment from Powell in 25153, because they say that Minecraft is the worst game ever, not rushed too fast, and funnily enough, 5 days later they left the exact same comment, but they decided to actually use the word the instead of that. So I want to just give a quick shout out to Powell N 2153. You know what, they're learning, and so the rest of us can too. We can all get better at our grammar one step at a time. But also I want to respond to K Stover, who says, I wonder if the only reason Microsoft hasn't axed Java Edition is due to a contract term not stipulated where they're just not allowed to for X amount of years. This is interesting, but I highly doubt it, even though Notch is the type of guy to write a contract that says something like that. One, when he was getting rid of Minecraft, he was really just getting out at any cost. He did pick from a few different options and specifically didn't want to sell to EA, but at the same time, I doubt he knew that Minecraft's plans going forwards with Microsoft were going to be so heavy with the Bedrock version. I think if you ask Notch about his opinions on Bedrock versus Java in 2011, he'd say, please leave now, I'm going to call security, and then maybe he'd explain that he has no idea what Bedrock is, and so I doubt that he would have put that in there. Why would Microsoft buy the game and then get rid of one of the most played versions of it? It's not something he would have conceived of in 2014. I don't think it's something you would have conceived of in 2014. Speaking of 2014 and Java and Bedrock, the Java and Bedrock team need to work closer together to not just create more differences in the first place. This is in reference to the recent videos about Parity going too far, because Minecraft is changing a lot of things on Bedrock to match the Java Edition. It's weird, Java Edition players are way more paranoid about this, but seemingly whenever they change something between the two versions to make parity, they ignore the hundreds of millions of players on Bedrock and they say, yeah, Java is always right, even when there's no logical consistency, like the snow became the snow block, but the clay block and the brick block became clay and bricks. Make up your mind, Minecraft. Also, why is the milk renamed to Milk Bucket? Is there going to be a milk block coming soon? I want to know the answers to all of these questions, but I don't think we're going to get them, and so Java and Bedrock are working close together, and in future they rarely make parity concerns, but this is one of the reasons why it takes so long for Minecraft updates to come out. This is one of the reasons I think that maybe competition would be useful, because they'd be able to say, actually, it doesn't make any competitive sense for us to spend all this time making parity when we could have two great separate versions, as we're already going to have for the next 10 or 20 years anyway, because it's at the rate they're moving on parity, they're not going to get anywhere close to done for a very long time, and so if it's going to take so many years, why not just make both versions better in their own way? I could make a very strong argument against parity based on how they're actually implementing it, because the sorts of things that people would love to see fixed are things like Tbug20, who says, today I encountered a Minecraft bug that should have been fixed years ago, and that's being that axolotls just straight up don't spawn. You know what's funny? I've gone through this exact same bug. They're very, very, very rare, and the reason I went through it is because I was doing a genocide run of Minecraft, and one of the hardest mobs to kill, it's not the warden, it's not anything else that took so long, it was getting my hands on an axolotl. I spent so long grinding, and the long story short is I feel like it could have been a lot easier if the Minecraft worked better. But speaking of Minecraft working better, I got a comment from Semi-Hypercube, and this is one of those commenters that I love to read from. I feel like on the internet, anyone can just write anything as lazily as they like. They can say dat instead of the. They can have comments that don't make any sense. But Semi-Hypercube is one of the people that I love reading in the comments because they have thoughtful points. Like this one says, saying, I'm still mad they removed the goat dropping mutton. It's not like some taboo thing. People eat goat in plenty of places around the world, but I guess Mojang has some rule in place after 1.12/1.13 that real animals can no longer drop anything useful on death, even if it's at the cost of the survival aspect if you say spawn in a mountain. I totally agree. Also, by the way, I think you should be able to eat glistening melons too. Why can you have golden apples and golden carrots, but golden melons is for some reason poisonous? I think that Minecraft needs to work out its food system, and I think that is one of the problems with the game being made by like one dude, but now being updated by a whole team. It's an interesting thing because you can see the reverse situation happening where, Hytale is a great example of a game being set up by a big team, but the big team is finding it hard to release a game. You should have 50 more, eyeballs and hands on something, and therefore it should be done at least 5 times faster, right? But the reality is a little bit different. There's a lot of coordination that needs to be done, and it's the reason why we can see, almost as much of Notch's project, which he's working on basically part-time, as we can from a game which is, both of the other games which are being developed by full-time studios. At some point, those games are probably going to get ahead of him, but there is a weird bias where individuals can get a lot more done in the computer programming space. At least that's how it looks to me. I mean, if you think about the progress that Minecraft made during the first year or two of its development, and then you look at Minecraft right now, where they're making funny memes, admittedly, and sharing them on Twitter, but we still don't have a snapshot, despite it being now 2 months since Minecraft 1.21 came out. You see those two things together and you realize, oh, there's something happening here. Anyway, speaking of things that are happening, can you make a video about how many people got the MCC cape? Was a comment I got from XToneV, and I just want to point out that no, I can't, not because it's not public information, but because it's not publicly accurate information. Here it is from NameMC. It shows that there are 31,567 people with the MCC 15-year cape, but this doesn't actually include everyone who has a cape. It is missing a whole bunch of people. Presumably, they've got to log on or be tracked online in some way, but this means that right now, the claim is, if this was accurate, that there are only 4 times as many 15-year capes as there are Minecon 2016 capes, despite the left cape requiring a couple of hours and a little bit of knowledge, and the right cape requiring over $100 to be spent, plus plane tickets, plus a hotel. You're talking about potentially, if you don't live in California, $1,000+ to be spent. I think there are many, many more MCC 15-year capes, and at some point we'll know just how many, but right now is sadly not it, and hopefully, I would love to see something like this for Bedrock, by the way. We won't ever get it, but it'd be cool to see regardless. Speaking of things that are cool to see regardless, Lord have mercy, 16 hours. If anyone watches this entire video till the very end, that's crazy. So I did say, the moment that I have a day without a video that's properly planned, in case you're curious, I had one about Countries Explained. It's been almost finished for a very long time now. It's one of the shortest videos, but one of the hardest to finish putting together. But there was a video that couldn't go live that day, and so a 16-hour video was the only logical alternative. And yeah, in case you're curious, the average person has been watching. First of all, how does it have any views? How does this have 2,000 views, but it's 16 hours long? The answer is that it counts a view when someone clicks on the video, even if they don't watch the entire thing. I think you have to watch about 10 seconds. On other platforms, it counts even if you just see it from the thumbnail, but on YouTube, it counts if you've watched some number of seconds, and that means that 2,000 people, now it's over 4,000 people, have watched some amount of that, and in fact, if you go on YouTube, you can see the average watch duration is about 17 minutes and 55 seconds, and it's actually going up because fewer people are finding the video, but more people are watching it longer, which is crazy. You come on, I mean, what's going on? Why are you watching that video? You're making mistakes in your life, just like how this last comment is a mistake, because Vanilla M Modded says, Realism Craft makes Minecraft look like Hytale, and this is an interesting comment I wanted to go through, because it kind of brings us back into the final point I want to raise about Minecraft versus Hytale versus whatever 4J is making versus whatever, is ultimately, even though there's, some competition that some people could argue from games which have, some shared market, in my opinion, the fact that you can play Minecraft with tools that make it look like how people imagine Hytale to look based on those early trailers, the fact that you can use an editor mode in Minecraft to have some of the effects that the 4J game mode's going for, and the fact that Minecraft's latest update was basically a dungeon crawling update, it kind of shows me that Minecraft is actively trying to be the game in which you can do anything else, and maybe that's one of the reasons why there isn't a true competitor. That's one of the reasons why making a true competitor is very, very hard, because they have to not only catch up with where Minecraft started, but also catch up with all of the years that have come since then. What do you think about Minecraft and its competitors? Do you think that any one of these 3 games are actually going to take a shot, or do you think they're going to be something small or something majorly successful, but still nowhere near what Minecraft is? It's something I have a lot of thoughts about, because the only games that ever get anywhere close to being argued as being in the Minecraft audience are actually ones that do things entirely differently. The Fortnites or the Roblox or the Ark Survivals of the world, whatever people say is going to be a Minecraft competitor, never ends up truly sticking, and that's why I think that if you're worried about, one day feeling like you've lost your Minecraft world, I also feel like that's not going to be the case. I think Minecraft is always going to be the biggest in its genre, but I'm still excited to see the other games and see what they bring to the table, because I think that is a very promising sign, and that is why I'm excited, and I'll let you know about updates with Hytale and Levels of Chess, and that is why, interestingly enough, I have an event arranged somewhere with 4J later this year that I am very excited about. I had to rearrange some travel. I have the craziest September and October of my life, but I had to make it work because I knew that I had to share the things with you, because I know a lot of my subscribers are also curious about the 4J project in particular because of the console connection on this channel. Speaking of console connections, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and let me know which of the 3 things you think are most interesting, or if you have no interest in any of them. I feel like there's going to be a fair number of comments from people like that. Inertia is a powerful thing, and so outside of telling you that you should probably have autoplay turned on and that I hope it will lead you to one of my other videos, I'm going to say that I'm glad that inertia will lead you to not murdering people. Yeah, try not to kill people, and try not to burn down a house fire. Goodbye. That's not an ending.